Hi everyone, I'm the Nature Guy, and I hope you're having a great day. Today, our nature nugget is about the bird called an Anhinga. Now, Anhingas are very interesting. They have a bright yellow bill with a small pouch, kind of like a pelican, but much smaller than the pelicans. The males have an eye ring that's sort of bluish eye ring during the breeding season. Now, they've got a long skinny neck and a black body and webbed feet, and all four toes are webbed together, so they're very strong swimmers. Now the female, I'm just going to turn this around a bit, the female also has the yellow bill and throat patch like a pelican, but it has a brown neck and chest. That's different from the male. The rest of the body is dark and also four webbed toes. So I mentioned that these guys are called Anhinga, but they have several nicknames or other names that they go by the locals in the area. One of them is snakebird. And the reason it gets that name is that these birds, when they hunt for fish, they actually submerge themselves underwater. Their feathers are not waterproof, and so they get waterlogged and they sink with just their head out and head and bill out, looking and then diving down to snatch or catch a fish. So when they come up out of the water, all you see is their head and neck and back down. Kind of looks like a snake. I've seen it happen. And so snakebird kind of makes a lot of sense. Another name they get is water turkey, because they do have a big, long, wide tail, and when they're drying their feathers after they come out of the water from hunting and catching a fish, they have to warm up because they don't have any insulation if their feathers are wet. And so they come out and they hold their wings out and they spread their tail out and they turn into the sun so that they can dry off, but more importantly, warm up. And so we call that thermoregulating when they're trying to capture the sun's rays. That's one of the reasons why we don't find these here in Michigan. We only find them in the tropics where it's sunny and warm year-round, because they get cold every time they go and eat. And so these big wide feathers, their tails, big wide feathers, big wide tail, looks like a turkey's tail. And so they often get that nickname of water turkey. They're also called the darter or American darter, because when they are underwater looking for fish, they have their long skinny neck all coiled up, and when they get close to something they jab out and dart and grab or actually spear the fish. And so a good name, the darter. Now the problem is, how do you get a fish that's speared on the end of your bill into your mouth and swallow it? Well, they just flick their tail up and catch the fish as it's falling down and swallow it. And even though they got a really skinny neck, it's surprising how big of a fish they can swallow. So the Anhingas are pretty neat birds, but the question is, what lesson can we learn from them? Well, I think the lesson has to do with all their nicknames. You know, it's called an Anhinga, but they're also called snakebird and water turkey and American darter, which describes characteristics or habits of these birds. And so I think the same is true for us. We're called Christians. But what other nicknames do we have? What other descriptors that go with our official name of Christian? Things like kind, helpful, thoughtful, compassion. Those kinds of things should be other names that people have for us as we go about our days, based on our behaviors and our characteristics. Now, Christians could also have other nicknames given to them, like hypocrite or uncaring, or a whole list of other things. I hope that's not the list of names that we have. As Christians, we want to really work hard on showing who Christ really is in our behaviors and our actions, so that we have nicknames a lot like these Anhingas do. That's our lesson for today. We'll see you next time. Bye now.